years ago when I first visited Porto, I actually stayed in a little inn, which is right here, Pensão Universal. At that time I was a backpacker with little money, so that's where I found this little inn. I stayed overnight here. Little did I know that 15 years later I would also stay in this plaza again. So let's go and check out what we have in the latest hotel offerings. Well, just behind me in this square we have a very newly built boutique hotel with just over 100 rooms. So let's go in and check out what they can offer. We are in the Intercontinental Bar here called Bar das Cardosas. A very interesting decoration here. You can see the vaulted ceiling, and behind me you have a trompe-l'oeil kind of bookshelf with a picture of Schubert, the great composer. I can think of the old days when Porto was a great city. You know, the luxury of the people coming into such a luxurious hotel, reflecting the old days when Portugal was a great empire. So here we are in the Ribeira district of Porto, which is the river walk, as we can see. Behind me is the Iron Bridge, designed by Gustave Eiffel, the same person that designed the Paris Eiffel Tower. This is actually the river Douro. That's upriver towards the sea out that way. So back in the old days, the port wine would be transported downriver here.
I think it's a mist. It's very dark.
We're here 3/4 of the way up the Douro River, just past Pinhal. As you can see very clearly, the terraced vineyards here. We are probably 3/4 of the way over for the harvest already. As you can see, the changing colors of the vineyards, from green to a little bit of yellow and slightly reddish, meaning that the harvest is more or less over. In another 15 days, everything will be done.
Now, is that just for the evening, or is it, are they doing that by the weekend or day, or is it?
So you can see the grapes freshly arriving from the vineyards. They're just loading it here on the mechanical scale and weighing it. Very sweet, very grapey. So the next step after having weighed this is to put it on the sorter just to pick the good grapes from the bad grapes. And then after that, it will go down here in the destemmer where the stems are separated from the grapes. This is the most traditional way of making port wine. Foot trotting the grapes. This is what is called a lagar, which is a fermentation tank. So you would have 6 men across here with a captain. They're shouting instructions. Moving forward, moving backwards. We're in the 21st century and a machine has taken over human power. This basically is a customs-made machine that imitates the trotting of the foot. These little things here imitates the foot action. So this thing will go up and down, up and down. This is silicon, as you can feel, it's actually quite soft. You can see the tank here, the seeds and the grapes. They've all floated on top, which means that this has started to ferment. When the winemaker determines that this action is complete, then this tank will be drained downstairs and piped downstairs for further fermenting in the big wooden casks. So I've climbed on top of these huge wooden casks here. I can open this bung and take a whiff. I can smell the wine maturing in here. Someone is what? Pardon. part of the winemaking process for port wine is to add the fortified alcohol in there. This is aguardiente vinica, which is basically 77% alcohol brand.
My most memorable sort of experience in the Douro was my childhood, where I used to come up to the Douro with my parents. One lived on the property and everything was produced on the property.
So you were self-sufficient.
There was an orchard. There were pigs. There was a cow for the milk. And
yes.
Yeah, because you have smaller grapes, higher concentration of sugar.
What about the cameraman?
The cameraman, you can have a glass of it by yourself. I'm going to explain the different style of wine. This first one is called lagrima, which means tears. This is actually a type of port that is actually very sweet in the mouth, but once you swallow it, it's actually not that sweet. Now the next one is a special reserve, as you can see, darker color. Okay, the thing about port wine is that the older the port wine it is, the lighter the color is going to become. So this is actually quite dark in color. Let's do a comparison with the special reserve with the 30-year Tawny. As you can see, the color is much lighter. So we're in the winemaker's office. So apart from the normal computer, your telephone, etc., what else can we find? Well, we actually have a Chinese-style sculpture here. And then open any of the cupboards. Being a winemaker, you have all different kinds of wine, all different kinds of bottles.